Hello and welcome everybody to the BAMS cast. Regular season is done. Eliminated. Sorry, Kamish. Kamish,
We're okay.
the Hotspurs, Fiana, Stairway to Evans, Lenoir, and the Diesel Jags. Um, and now moving forward, we have Sheasky and Bologna squeezes. No surprises there. They had already locked the number one and number two spots, so they have buys for this first round of the playoffs. And that means the four teams in contention in round one of the playoffs is Nog versus Danny December to remember, and Hardo versus Puka. I've lost an appendix. It was weighing me down. I'm ready to make a playoff push. Kamish, we trade spots. Of I was not in the playoffs the past couple of years. You are the defending champ, still riding high, and you get to continue to say that for a few more weeks. How are you doing, sir?
Glad you brought that up because yes, I did have to remind myself that this morning before getting on the mic. Um, you know, despite what you hear in the media, I am doing better than I think what a lot of people are saying. And I think it helps that I won last year, so it all kind of plays in. But I don't be surprised if I do come knocking to help cope with the uh, the lottery draw here, and not a fortuitous position in my draft next year either with some of the draft picks
Mm,
that I let go. So we can talk about that a little later. I'll get through it. I addressed some of the errors I made this year. You learn from them. You never lose. You just keep trying. Isn't that there's a quote or something like that? Yeah, I don't know. Um, Speaking of quotes, I do got to say I'm not in my office,
where
and
are
I'm not
you?
gonna. We're BAMS on site. Last one of the year. Tim, I am in Dixon, Illinois, at a
Oh,
local coffee shop, support small business, Starbucks. Um, Dixon, Illinois, west northwest Illinois, um, famous for the hometown of Mr. Ronald Reagan.
oh,
Just a mile down the road is his home, just off the main artery here into town. Nice little statue of him. But yeah, a little bit of history here, and I gotta say, I will credit this to a little how I'm feeling as it relates to bands. Couldn't help but think about Reagan. We don't like to talk about
no.
religion, never. But Reaganomics, big economic policy guy. Um, we all know the details. We all know what it entailed. We all know where everything stood back in the early 80s. One thing that really sticks out is how bad the economy did after Reaganomics were implemented back in, I believe, 81. Jay, I'm sure
Yeah,
will be able
Jay's
to correct me
screaming
on
at
that.
his phone this entire
Yeah,
time.
yeah. But the point I want to make here is that there was about 1 to 2 years of just poor economic times after the implementation. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, Jay, or don't. But he stuck to his guns. He stuck to the strategy. They didn't make any sweeping changes, and the long term success proved to be the case for Mr. Ronald Reagan. And so, just tying it back to BAMS, I have my mentality, my rules that I live by, and I got a little lackadaisical on that this year. Maybe because the cockiness, a little bit of hubris from winning last year. Um, and I kind of got away from me. So it's just a good reminder just to stick to your guns, stick to your rules, everything that's proven successful in the past. And yeah, I'm confident about next year, looking forward to it. And getting ahead of myself, Tim. Not only am I, positive about my setback. This is not about me, and I've been talking for 5 minutes. But um, how can I not be great? We have the fantasy football holiday fourth annual draft lottery this coming Sunday, 4 days away at Miller's Ale House in maybe Oak Brook,
Lombard. Oh,
Lombard. Yeah, they all no, it's Lombard. You're right. They all kind of tie in over there. Um, it's a beautiful time. I can't wait to see the fellas and and talk fantasy football, watch a cold Bears game from a nice temperature controlled environment. And yeah, all's well. Holidays, it's perfect. And I look forward to watching you guys stress about it during the midday games on Sunday.
Yeah, and we've got the roll call going right now. We
Yep,
will
yep.
um so we'll see who will be in attendance. I don't know when we're dropping this BAMS cast episode. Um,
Mhm.
but hopefully with some time before we see all the fellas on Sunday, Jay can process your Reaganomics overview, maybe come with
Yeah.
any education points for us on Sunday.
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm.
I will not be interested, but he can talk to other people about it.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to
Well
have a
done. Well
great
put.
time.
Yeah. Yeah. It always is. It is the surest of sure things that we're gonna have a great time, and I look forward to it. Um, let's get into it. Quick, I say we just kind of touch on last week a little bit, and then we can talk about the playoffs. I'll let you run with the playoffs and your thoughts on everything. Um, but can I just make one quick point here? I did some preparing today. Not that I don't always,
Wow.
but I got a new segment. Okay, it's called okay, and we had a big week 14 last week. We had 4 points that separated Polanka and Sheasky for the most points. That's a big number. That's $200.
Oof.
That's a huge week as it is. Um, we had Ford and myself fighting for a playoff spot with Polanka. All had the same records. Polanka had he has this crazy amount of points, and so he needed to lose. If Ford and I were to get in, we needed the other guy to lose as well. So slim chances, but there was a lot at play last week. And then Polanka just put up 161 points again. Okay,
Yeah. I had to
not too anticlimactic.
climactic. Um,
It was yeah. We got
we
there.
uh I had to look at the screen that you're sharing right now to understand who actually did win the points total for the year. So congrats to Danny December to remember. Let's put a bookmark, a little pin in that to look at his team and read the nicknames that he has for his team because it's gold all over again. Congrats to Polanka, a man who almost did not make the playoffs with the most points in the league. This feels like justice of not only
Mhm.
him earning that spot in the playoffs, but earning some money to go along with it as well. Very well earned. Danny December to remember taking home
Do you
that. How
do
much
you see
money
my
does he take home, by the way?
okay, so you do see that.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll get to. I'll bring it back so we can touch on his names because they are deserving of airtime. He's at $600 already.
Love it.
Um, the record was last year at $1,300. So when you have a $900 pot and 600 already, there are some records prime for the taking as far as the money goes. But
Touching on that too is
yeah,
um, love to see it from the guy who bought the shot for us at the draft this year. So replenishing financially very, very quickly in just a few months' time.
mhm.
And while we're on that, want to call out that the person buying the shot for next year will be Diesel TR, which I know he has just achieved his dream career in kicking that off very recently. So
Yeah,
congrats, bud. You get to buy us some alcohol in
yeah, yeah.
next year.
Um, that's a good point. I did not think about that. I did not look ahead, but that's yeah. The league shot to kick off the draft is always a time to look forward to. So, um, do we want to look at Polanca's names? Patrick Mahaffey Honda days.
We'll go back and forth. So you do the first one, yeah.
Yeah.
Then James Blue Book,
And then we got Jameer Dibbs. Um, just
CD Dodge Ram,
no powers.
Michael Wilson is trikes are chill, son.
What a brain. Mile pit stop. A
Now
lot of traveling for the
we love
holidays.
this one here of the holiday season remains consistent, so he gets to keep with Travis Etienne. Travel safely, friends.
OJ's Ford Bronco. Did that happen during the holidays? Or was that
I
like
don't think
springtime?
I don't think so, but it is a car. Um,
Do you think he's subtly taunting Ford for not making the playoffs and keeping him out and out there?
uh, wow, I had to take some time with this one of Aaron Jones, pair of bones on the rear view. I think he's talking about like a lucky rabbit's foot, unless he's doing something else
Yes,
there. Okay.
I think so. That's awesome. Bought a van? Tight.
Now this
Back
happens
to the
where
car. Back to the car references.
uh now we don't have one for Flanor of the Dallas Cowboys, which makes sense because that's a recent acquisition. So Michael Pittman, bicycle kit man.
Nice. Hunter Henry. Winter's when we fill tires up. Winter's when we enter Henry. I get it.
Okay. And
Not every name is a shoe in.
Garrett Wilson, Revit wheels gone. So there we go.
Nice.
Uh, so
I like that.
Polanka, your top scorer and top namer of individual players on his team. Um, and now, yeah, was there anything you wanted to review? I know you covered a good amount of last week and some of the drama that came down to the wire. I think the biggest call out for me was just like it actually played out very predictably of as much as I called out on the last BAMS cast that there were multiple teams staying in it. There were not any like
Hmm.
true, I'm selling everything. Like even I know like Lenoir was holding cards pretty tight towards the end. Stairway to Evans was not, for instance, trading Jalen Waddle. Why would I know that specific? Who knows? Uh, but those bottom six teams, everybody held on to their guys. There really wasn't too much of trading for picks, no pure garage sales going on for teams. And the teams that were on the outside looking in that had a chance of supplanting Polanka, it really just came down to Polanka had way more points than everybody else, so it became a record thing.
Hmm.
Just defend his
Yep.
record. All he had to do was win, and he did suck a lot of the drama out of it because I think by Thursday night he already had like 80 points on the board. So played
Dibs.
out pretty
Jameer Dibs.
predictably
Yeah.
that he secures the victory and secures that final playoff spot.
Yeah. I'll just do some spreadsheet stuff end of season since we're talking about draft picks and whatnot, and then we can just spend the rest of the time on the playoffs. We talked about the draft picks, and yeah, it was kind of chalk straightforward. I would point out myself because I did sell off some big picks, so you can see I'm in that fourth um, least fortunate, whatever you want to call it, position here for the draft next year. But I mean, you have playoff teams that sold to get there. So Shea, Polanka, you, Danny Groley, makes sense. Grimmer Ford did not sell a draft pick, and then you have the T Rens who that might be a record 11 picks in the top seven. Nick Starr, Mark, Jay all did very well in selling off appropriately. Um, this might be a bit stubborn on my end by doing what I did, but that's okay. That's okay. We always like to communicate this and just look forward to the draft. So I'm gonna just finish with this and then we'll go. So
And
dynasty standings up.
I will quickly
Yeah.
touch on the we'll call this segment I'm a man of my word, but it is that I always said, I'm like, if I'm in contention, I will sell. Or sorry, I will buy.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make moves. So me having the fewest draft picks in the top seven rounds next year, like I in my everybody gets to do this the way that they see fit, but I'm a person of when I've decided to sell, I'm selling everything. When I've decided to buy, like and you're in a position of advantage. My opinion is make moves, you should be at the bottom of this
Yes.
list. So, all right, now I'll pass it back to you.
Yeah, make moves. Nice little segue. We'll go into the trade stance. What moves were made? A couple years ago, we moved the trade deadline up a week to deter some severe selling off as we get close to the end of the year. And last year, it cut down a little bit on the trades, and this year is right around there too. So kind of in line with last year. 13 trades, a couple more players involved, and same amount of draft picks. Vetoes don't really care anymore, but just an update on where we're at as far as activity on trades. I think that's a healthy view. No, right? Yeah. So okay.
Yeah, and it's a little bit
Uh,
of a like bell curve there that maybe we got a little wild in BAMS 9 and 10, um,
yeah.
and that people settled a little bit. Not too surprising to me of particularly with how this season went, and that a, there wasn't a contingent, a segment of three, four teams all selling at one time. Really,
Right.
diesel trades, I think, is the one that is buoying these numbers.
Agreed.
And
Um,
I'm interested to see when you were showing the number of picks in the top 7 rounds. I felt like I might have rivaled it last year, but I think it's pendulum swinging for me and TR of I was the trade guy last year and he's the trade guy this year.
you think you had more than 11 last year?
I had a million picks, but
See,
probably more like eight. 11's wild.
I could tell you in 8 seconds.
Oh, seven. Hold on. 7 rounds. You have 7 picks right there. And then I think I
Yeah,
had two twos, three threes.
Tim, you had
So maybe,
12. You had 12.
there we go. Okay.
Yes, not a record by TR. Well, interesting. Cool.
Good pull by you. That was fast analytics.
That was pretty fast analytics. I got time. I'm not worrying about playoffs. I can master these spreadsheets. Let's talk about moves in general. Pretty in line, except for okay, TR maybe didn't get the record for most first round picks next year, but my gosh, he hit 86 on total moves in
Oh
the
my
regular
goodness.
season, which I haven't confirmed it, but the looks of it, I think I had 74 back in BAM 7. I think that was it.
We
Oh
thought
no,
that
it
was
was
the pinnacle.
82 back in BAMS 4. I used to make it a daily activity for me to make moves, but still 86 by TR is a is the new number to hit. Um,
I like charting this against children born, perhaps, of maybe the numbers go down, but I don't know. Or if it's newborns, you're tinkering all the time. So, but yeah, this
yeah,
is, and I would say no surprises here. Like you and Growley being very active, the most active in the league makes sense. Um, love to see Ford, Shea, uh, in around the teens and the 20s. And then if I had to guess who would be lowest, Stairway, Star, four.
no Ford.
Oh, Ford
Oh, that
this
was
year.
last year. That was last year. Yeah,
Got
yeah,
it. We're updating for BAM's 12. Okay, so
yeah.
Star was getting in the mix more this year.
Uh-huh. Yeah. But this is great. You have the extremes of Ford and TR, and then you have the average of, I think I saw 33. I mean, so 31, 28, 35. I mean, it's a nice, you were talking bell curves earlier. We ever talked bell curves twice in one podcast? I don't think so. Let's move on. That's not relevant. We got a luckiest schedule by year,
Mm.
and I'm gonna call it baloney curtains. Okay, not the steel curtain, but Pete Grimmer's defense of baloney curtains, because this is the second time in 3 years that he's had the strongest defense, least
These
amount of
uh
points
these
scored against.
these curtains are fleshy.
Yes.
Look at this boy.
So we have that. We have that's really it. And I just have weekly wins. Polanka jumped into the mix here with 11, but you can see over time, over the over the existence of BAMS. These are weekly wins, and I know I've talked about it before, but we always have new listeners, new subscribers. So
Yeah.
this is the running number of weekly wins. Let's talk about the playoffs, Tim. This is enough spreadsheets. Um, I'm just gonna lead us into it. How do you feel about your side of the bracket?
Um, I feel okay. I mean, the the way that the projections are going is, um, I think I'm like projected for 125, and my opponent Puka is 128. Um, and then I believe for Nog, which is just classic stuff, and I can't wait to see this play out. We'll probably have to look at the preview, but Nog is projected to lose by 20 against Polanka. Um, and that's where you just, the mud man, even though he made
Mm-hmm.
me eat my words and he did put up some big outputs over the past few weeks down the stretch for landing into the playoffs. Um, it's the ultimate mud challenge. Like, can you bring down this high flying Polanka into double digits instead of triple digits for the week? That's what we will have to see. Me versus Growly is just like a competition as old as time, um, and just a true headbanger to kick off the playoffs. Um, are
I
we
don't
able to? Oh, go ahead, sir.
have the bracket. No, I think were you going to ask me to bring up the bracket?
Yes, I wanted to see
'Cause
the maybe just
I don't.
previews of the two matches for this week. If we could see how Nog and Danny December to Remember match up against each other
I
first.
think yeah. I don't think I can show the brackets, which
No,
maybe
this is
just because.
perfect.
Okay, good.
And we've got ourselves 10 minutes. So
Yeah.
here, December to Remember has been so good all year. The
Hmm.
and the very funny stuff with CD Lamb, for instance, on his roster to the right side. This team is so stacked. He's got Kansas City, who is now in a slim chance to make the playoffs, but fighting for their lives. So you get rushing Patrick Mahomes, you get James Cook, Jameer Gibbs, CD Lamb, and a Michael Wilson, who, when Marvin Harrison is a cat, Michael Wilson is a dog. And him being
Hmm.
with Jacoby Brissett and the shelved Kyler Murray, this guy's just awesome.
Yeah.
And he's, yeah, look at this. His 2 weeks ago is 5 points, but otherwise the last month he's scoring 20 plus a week. He's a monster. So um, it's like not only does Polanka have a team laden with studs, but even some of these recent pickups over the past month are going nuclear for him as well. It's not something I wanted to mess with. The thing to watch in this matchup, as we talk about the Mudman, is Dallas against Minnesota. That's a tough defensive matchup. Gibbs versus the Rams. Rams, very good defense. James Cook against New England, top five rush defense as well. Like, there are some matchups here that are not ideal. Um, that this could be one of those that does land in maybe the 110 range, um, between the two of them. On the left side, Nog, just love to see what he's been doing. Colston Loveland coming on in the absence of Roma Dunze. T. Higgins getting boosted from Joe Burrow coming back and just being peak Joe Burrow instantly. Um, and then
I didn't think T was going to play this week, from what I heard. But if he's playing,
they
more power
definitely
to him.
did a there's no concussions when we're making a playoff push policy.
Oh.
He for
Mhm.
sure concussed himself after just recently concussing himself. And they were just like, yeah, he's like, he's, I think it was like, He'll be in and out of the game with a head injury. I love when they say head injury or suspected head injury instead of concussion. That's always coded in the final games of the playoffs or the final games of the NFL regular season if you're vying for the playoffs. Elsewhere on this team, it's like I'm not inspired by what's on Nog's team. That's why he's projected for 106. Saquon's been underwhelming. Steph Diggs was a pickup who has been underwhelming. Cortland Sutton, week to week, you never know what's going to happen for the Broncos. Um,
Mm-mm.
Tyrone Tracy was a very fortuitous pickup right before I believe Scadaboo got injured. So like he's pieced it together and he's got a shot. But we'll get into because I know we're probably running. Yeah, we got 6 minutes left. We will go out of this matchup because I do want to hit on something, which was we're gonna call this segment playing the game. And playing the game here is that I did not want to go up against Polanka. I don't think anyone wanted to go
Mm-hmm.
up against Polanka. I had a great Sunday conversation within 24 hours of getting my appendix removed. Wonderful conversation with Shay. He and I talking as well of like
They always are.
he wanted he doesn't want to go up against Polanka either. He
Mm-hmm.
wanted me to be going up against Polanka, me to be in the third spot, knowing Polanka would get that sixth spot. And he wanted one of us to kill each other so he didn't have to deal with us. Ideally, me beating Polanka. I, as the segment suggested, I played the game. I did intentionally want to not score a lot of points. I
Mm-hmm.
did intentionally want to lose against Bologna squeezes because I wanted to avoid Polanka and instead play Puka. Will I eat it because of that choice? We shall see. We talked about this could be bad karma 2 weeks ago, but I want to make I want to deliver a ferocious message real quick.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's not exactly that I'm trying to step away from competition, that I'm shying away from Polanka. I saw an opportunity to manifest my own destiny here, and we're going to pull up a little something that I wrote back on March 21st, 2025, and I'll show it to the camera. I write in cursive, but this is a text from Groley in the BAMS chat that says Tim likes to give all his BAMS money away before like week 3 when he was having a few Zimas with Shay. I took that personally and I
That's what
sat on
that
it
said on the
because
notebook.
I'm an
Good.
absolute psycho.
Mm-mm.
I sat on it and I saw an opportunity to go head to head. And hey, like I said, maybe bad karma. Maybe I'm going down this week and Puka scores a ton of points and Polanka scores very little points. And that's what kills me this year. But I wanted the smoke. I wanted one on one. We're getting it. Two behemoths of BAMs.
Mm.
Groley versus Hardo. Let's do this.
That is awesome. Um, I mean, you probably had that pinned up on your office corkboard for the last 9 months. That's how you. That's what you got to do. I love the motivation, and now I'm sad that I'm not in the playoffs. Um,
Let's preview me versus him. I'll use 1 minute on it. Uh, I was looking ahead in the matchup, which is funny because when I look at Polanca's defenses that his guys are playing, I'm like, oh,
mhm.
I probably should have thought about that, and I didn't. Where Polanca is possibly due for a down week. On the flip side, Grohl's matchups are great. He's got like, his players are playing against weak defense. It's like Lamar Jackson against Cincy. Cincy's the worst defense in the league. Uh, Travion Henderson going up against Buffalo. Buffalo's run defense is their greatest weakness on their full roster. I did have in my head that Dallas going up against Minnesota, and we talked about how Grohley's team was pretty Dallas heavy. He's sitting Dak because he acquired Lamar Jackson. It's going to be very interesting with Lamar because he has been poop. He's been bad. But he's going up against Cincy. That's a terrible defense. We'll see what
Was it
happens and if he has
two
more of
weeks
a
ago?
exactly. Does he have a pit performance and he's on the trend up,
Mm-hmm.
or does he have a performance that's more in line with the previous 4 weeks? But I figured Grohley being pretty driven by Dallas would be a problem going up against Minnesota. Um, Nico Collins against Arizona is a great matchup. He'll get plenty of points there. And another one to watch, Devontae Adams on the Rams for me against Puka Nacua, who just went crazy last week. Does that mean that the defense of Detroit is going to key in on Puka and be like, we don't want that to happen to us and things balance out? Or does Puka just go crazy again? These are all the things that we're looking to for this week. And one last piece, 1 minute left. Scroll down to the bottom right. For me,
Save me,
in my
save me 15 seconds, but go.
in my flex position, do I play Jalen Warren just for the thrill of all the drama? Does it come to a head of Jalen Warren and the greatest person to be complaining about the Jalen Warren situation? Do I bring it to his doorstep on a Monday night where it could all sit in a standalone game? That's all I have to say. Kamish, finish us.
I'm just characterizing these matchups. We've got the storied franchises of Grohley and Nassen, two lifers, kind of like a Bears Packers situation where not always both two behemoths,
Yep.
but that's what we got. That's what we got this year. We got a little locker room talk that's been remembered, that's been posted up on the wall and remembered. Kind of like a Ben Johnson situation in his press conference. A lot of similarities there. And then on the other side, we got the mud. We had a lot of snow these past few weeks, record numbers, and it's not even Christmas. But what do we get this week, Tim? What do we get? A
Milk.
little bit of